When diving into the cultural fabric of each U.S. state, you'll quickly find stories of unexplainable sightings, cryptids, alien visitors, and strange phenomena. Passed down through generations, these narratives often elevate otherwise sleepy towns into folklore landmarks. South Carolina has its lizard man, Iowa the eerie Van Meer visitor. And let's not forget the infamous Mothman of West Virginia, but Mothman isn't the only mysterious figure lurking in West Virginia's history. 15 years before it took flight over Point Pleasant, another otherworldly presence left its mark. Just 25 miles away, the strange events that occurred one September evening would forever change the lives of the few who saw it and raise more questions than answers. The strange events began in the early evening of September 12, 1952, just outside the town of Flatwoods, nestled in Braxton County, West Virginia. As dusk fell over the Appalachian Hills, two brothers, Edward and Fred May, were playing near their home with a neighborhood friend. Their game was cut short when they noticed something in the sky, something burning bright red and moving oddly through the clouds. At first, they thought it might be a meteor, but the glowing object didn't plummet to the ground like a shooting star. Instead, it slowed down, descending gently as if under intelligent control. Intrigued and confused, the boys watched as the object slipped below the tree line and vanished into the nearby woods. Startled by what they had witnessed, the boys rushed home and told their mother, Kathleen May. Initially, she thought the story was childish nonsense until she saw the genuine fear in their eyes. Concerned but curious, Kathleen agreed to investigate. She decided to bring along the family dog and reached out to a friend, Eugene Lemon, a member of the National Guard, hoping his military background might offer some reassurance. Eugene brought two of his friends as well, and together the small group set off into the forest. They believed the object had come down near a farm just beyond the woods. Cautiously, they made their way along the path, deeper into the trees. After several minutes of walking, the group climbed a small rise that overlooked a clearing. What they saw there defied explanation. Nestled in the clearing was a strange, egg-like object that glowed faintly from within, a reddish hue pulsing steadily from its center. Surrounding the object was a thick green mist, clinging low to the forest floor. As the group approached, the dog suddenly yanked free from its leash and charged toward the object, only to be immediately overwhelmed. Whimpering and panicked, it bolted back past its owners and vanished down the trail toward home. Then came the sound, an eerie, sustained hissing echoing from above. Instinctively, Eugene lifted his flashlight and aimed it toward the treetops. What the beam revealed would haunt the witnesses for the rest of their lives. Suspended in midair was a towering, humanoid figure at least 10 feet tall. Its body appeared to emit the same green vapor as the object on the ground. It wore a dark, metallic cloak that flared upward into a pointed hood shaped like a spade. Within that hood was a glowing red face, and moving and emotionless. Before anyone could react, two narrow beams of red light suddenly projected upward from the figure's face, scanning the skies like searchlights. Slowly, the beams angled downward and landed directly on the group below. A second hissing sound followed, this one louder, more aggressive. Then, with a smooth, gliding motion, the entity began to descend from its perch, its glowing eyes fixed on the terrified onlookers as it silently approached through the mist. Overcome with fear, Eugene dropped his flashlight, turned, and ran. The rest of the group followed in a frenzy, sprinting back through the woods without looking back. Back at the May residence, the family contacted the local authorities. Soon after, state police arrived to take statements while the officers listened. Politely, they clearly regarded the story with skepticism. Nevertheless, they agreed to investigate the area. After half an hour, they returned, claiming to have found nothing, no strange object, no creature, no vapor. However, in the days that followed, other townspeople began to report disturbances in the area, indentations in the soil, broken branches, a lingering odor in the air. And then came the health symptoms. Several members of the group, including Eugene and Kathleen, reported nausea, dizziness, and sore throats. Even the dog, they claimed, never recovered and died shortly after. News of the encounter quickly spread beyond Flatwoods. Within days, journalists from across the country descended on the small town. CBS requested an interview with Kathleen May and Eugene Lemon. The story had gone national. As media coverage expanded, additional witnesses emerged. A young girl named Audra Harper, along with a friend, had been walking through a wooded shortcut near the nearby town of Heaters just days earlier. They recalled seeing a red glow on a distant hilltop and then being chased by a tall, shadowy figure moving unnaturally through the trees. Then came a more chilling account. A married couple, Edith and George Snowski, reported an incident the day after the Flatwoods sighting. While driving along Route 4, about 20 miles from town, their car suddenly died. As George exited the vehicle to check the engine, the area was bathed in a blinding light. A sulphurous smell filled the air. From the shadows ahead, a reptilian figure approached, tall and blinking and curious. It placed its hands on the hood of the car and peered inside at the terrified couple and their baby. Just as suddenly as it had appeared, the figure retreated. The light vanished. Moments later, the car started up again without explanation. Like many stories of this nature, skepticism quickly followed. Some critics pointed to inconsistencies in witness descriptions, such as the reported height of the creature, which seemed to grow taller with each retelling. Others noted contradictions in its appearance. Was it robotic, as some claimed, or organic, with claws like an animal? One theory proposed by skeptics, including paranormal debunker Joe Nickell, suggested that the creature was nothing more than a barn owl perched in a tree, its features distorted by flashlight beams and adrenaline. According to this theory, the boys had simply misidentified a natural phenomenon during a time of national anxiety, but not everyone was convinced. Years later, rumors surfaced that the U.S. government had taken a keen interest in the Flatwoods incident. According to Captain Dale Levitt, a National Guard officer at the time, he and his unit were dispatched to the area shortly after the event. There, they reportedly recovered metal fragments and oily residue near the landing site. The materials were quietly shipped to Washington, D.C. for analysis, never to be mentioned again. At the same time, UFO sightings were being reported up and down the eastern seaboard. One such event involved a U.S. Air Force F-9 for Starfire jet that vanished while on patrol out of Tampa, Florida. The very night of the Flatwoods sighting, the aircraft and its crew were never found, and disturbingly, their names were later erased from official Air Force records. Did the Flatwoods entity encounter that plane? Unlike other recurring cryptid legends, the Flatwoods entity was never seen again after that fateful night. No follow-up sightings, no second encounter. Just one brief, terrifying appearance, then nothing. Still, the story refuses to fade. Flatwoods, West Virginia, now embraces its strange history. Each year, thousands of visitors flock to the town to learn about the encounter, visit the museum, and take home souvenirs. Whether it was a misidentified owl, a cold warrior, a hallucination, or something truly otherworldly, only those who were there that night can ever say for sure. And if the truth is still out there, it may be hidden beneath the trees of Flatwoods.